All right, here we are. We are live. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone feeling today?
Good.
Good, thank you.
Good. We have a few goods. We have one no answer. Who did answer?
Me.
Yes.
Oh my God, you answered.
Everything good?
I didn't answer either.
No?
Nope.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Oh.
Right, let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about today. So let's start out with Jackie and our... Oh, no, wait. Who do we start with usually? Jackie or Jen?
Dropped my lotion. I got nervous. I'm like, wait, not me yet.
Jen. Okay. Let's start out with an inspirational testimonial because we are going to be talking about resolutions, failed resolutions, all of that. January 18th is the perfect time to have that discussion.
Yes, it is.
So go ahead, Jen.
So on that note, I'm actually reading a Christmas card that was sent to us from somebody. So wishing you all a very happy and healthy holiday season. I wanted to thank you for always being exceptional. Each and every one of you has always been so present, supportive, inspiring, knowledgeable, and professional. I truly cannot thank you for giving me the greatest gift of all, health and well-being, both physically and emotionally. And then the rest of it was just, giving us a gift card to feed our souls because we feed everybody else's souls.
Who is that from? That's
I
very
know.
nice.
I can't say.
First name.
Mary.
Okay.
Oh, it's not quite
okay.
what it was.
Got it. Well, it's very nice.
Yeah, she did very well. So she, I can't even say what I want to say to protect privacy.
Well, let me say something.
No,
First
because
of
you'll get
all,
in trouble.
It seems a little self-congratulatory to read something like that. That's not a testimonial per se.
No.
Secondly, I want to push back on the fact that she thanked us for giving us health. We don't have that power. We can be supportive towards that end, but we cannot grant people health. If we could, first of all, our fees would be a lot higher.
Ha. Well, we helped her back on the way to health. And the reason that I wanted to read that, it was supposed to be a New Year's one, but it got lost in my back and forth bag, was because we're talking about resolutions today. So it's a very good tie-in and segue. And I was going to go on. So now that you negated the whole thing that I just read,
That's
but I
what
was
I did.
going, yes, you did. I was going to go on to say how well she did and the fact that she has the opportunity to go to other offices, but she's so comfortable coming to us that she did.
The fact that she commutes to us from Brooklyn, that says a lot.
Different Mary.
Oh, different Mary. Oh, got it.
Oh.
She comes from relatively far. Yeah. So what Jen is referring to is this particular Mary is very closely related with someone who has an office that does wellness.
Oh,
weight
God.
loss,
Right.
and yet she chooses to come to us.
Oh, really?
So anyway, she did really, really well. And for her, it was also about health. She's tiny. She's a tiny woman who had gotten a little bit bigger, but she had other things going on. So she used the program mostly for immunity boosting. She came during like the summertime when she was worried about her son traveling, about people in her family traveling. So I met her in a bathing suit, covered, but in a bathing suit to get her immunity supplements for her son's travel plans. So she went right into boosting immunity at the end of the summer, which is actually when we should be doing it. End of the summer, fall, and then going into the springtime when our bodies are regenerating cells.
Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
And it was very proactive. And we talked last week about how most people tend to be reactive when it comes to health and their weight.
Right. And the fact that, she did really well. Yes, people are under the misconception that we give them health or that somebody outside of them gives them health, but they actually find their way back to their own health. But so, two things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, and we're going to talk about a little bit plug immunity boosting programs, Jack.
Yep.
So.
All right, good. Let's now talk about eating because everyone likes to eat. Is that correct? Wait, first of all, there is something I want to say that is bothering me. I do not have a mohawk right now, and my head is not pointy. This has entirely everything to do with the camera, the angle, something like that.
I don't. Oh, now I see that you said that because
I shouldn't have said. I thought it was so obvious.
I didn't notice it until you said it.
you need a fedora. Get a hat. You props.
Okay, I don't have a hat right here.
Have a crown?
Well, maybe later. Of course, I have a crown.
You need like that comedian, Pinky Patel, to crown and a mini microphone.
We'll discuss that later. Let's talk about
Not feed
this
into
week.
ego,
Let
Jack.
me just say that, Jackie, every week you give us a fabulous recipe. Every week I say, okay, you have to make it and bring it in. As of now, January 18th, we've been doing this for a long time. I've yet to see anything.
Okay, I have fed you in the past numerous times.
That is correct. Right, but you still need to bring in these
Okay,
recipes. I have to
this
vet them for
Friday,
everyone.
I will bring for everyone because we have our meeting.
It's like The Sopranos. I have to try it first, make sure it's not poisonous.
Yeah, look at.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria. Okay, so we're
Jen.
making vintage harbor crab salad dip. So you half a cup of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon of vintage arbor seasoning, which is from Spice Gal that we carry. Shameless plug. 1.5 cups of chopped tomatoes, half cup of bell peppers, 1 cup of chopped cucumbers, 1/4 cup of chopped onion. I prefer sweet onion. 8 ounces lump crab meat. Stir the vinegar, oil, and seasoning in a medium bowl. Add the rest of the ingredients except for the crab because you want to do that last. Toss well to coat them all, refrigerate it, and then add the crab into it. Toss lightly, and you eat it. You could serve it with bell pepper scoops, but I was just thinking I would probably turn this into a meal, and I would throw this in with like arugula salad and just make this the whole thing.
It might be nice for the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, easy.
Have you ever made this?
Delicious.
I haven't. So I found this recipe when I was ordering inventory, and I printed it because I feel like I've been in the mood for crab. So I think I'm going to try this
Okay, good. When are you going to try it?
this week.
Awesome.
Friday?
So we could expect it on Thursday?
Maybe if there's leftover. Or maybe I'll make it fresh. I'll make a fresh one.
All right.
You have to
Jackie,
pick.
thank
From
you.
the past 3 recipes, pick one and I'll make it.
Okay.
Well,
good.
considering last week's was cauliflower, I'll take this week's.
So we'll get double cauliflower for Corinne.
Corinne doesn't like vegetables.
I'll take the
I
cauliflower.
love vegetables, but just not cauliflower.
Not cauliflower. No cauliflower soup for you.
No.
What about cauliflower and pumpkin, Corinne?
No. No. Who wants pumpkin? No.
I made pumpkin. I made pumpkin pancakes for my children yesterday.
That sounds good.
While she was on the phone talking about business. Mind you.
Excuse me, like birds.
She's a good
You
multitasker.
couldn't pay me to eat pumpkin or nope.
All right, Corinne, just submit a list of the things that you're not going to eat, and we'll read it off next week.
Oh, it'll be a lot. So
In the meantime,
be
I have a
prepared
question.
to be like this.
I have a question for all of you. All right. Show of hands if you made a New Year's resolution. Okay, good. So we don't want to get too personal about. Does anyone want to share what your resolution was?
Could share mine.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
my resolution was to start meditating every day
Good.
again, and to keep my cell phone like not on me at all times.
Good. Okay. How's that going so far?
Good.
Awesome. You're meditating daily?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, good. Jackie, how about you?
So a little cliche, but I did start with health. So I wanted to get back into my routine. I kind of fell on the wayside where I was making time for everything else but exercise.
Okay.
And exercise actually used to come before eating good to me years back. So now I just kind of want to put the two together.
Okay, good. So eat right and exercise consistently. Trisha?
So it was to start taking care of myself again. So I started program again.
Nice.
So I'm excited. So that's how I'm, a little late. It was supposed to be a little more the first week of January. So we're pushed out a couple of weeks, but that's
Understood.
okay. So
Okay.
we're getting started.
Corinne, how about you?
My resolution was also to take care of myself, and actually, I haven't started yet. I'm starting today,
Okay.
and I'm going to go to the gym for the first time in like 7 years. So,
Nice. Wow. Okay.
That's
Mhm.
Don't push it.
Mhm.
Take it easy on yourself. Jen?
I'm going to do the best that I can.
Mhm.
No, Jen, you didn't make a resolution. Okay. I didn't either. And so, Jen, you and I are probably thinking along the same lines here about resolutions.
When I was a kid,
I agree with you because I'm in Jen's head already.
yeah, you are. When I was a kid, I watched my parents make all these resolutions, and by like the second week in January, they were broken. So
Right.
I thought, what a whole load of horse manure that would make these resolutions, and nobody ever sticks to them. So that kind of stuck in my head, and I never made New Year's resolutions ever growing up.
Ever?
Yeah, it's like a little, but a formal one, no.
Got it.
It's
Got
too trendy. I had
It's
me
too
on.
trendy. It's too cliche. Right. That's not you. You're too much of an iconoclast. But
I'm not an iconoclast, but a little rebellious.
everyone else, is there any special magic to resolutions? Obviously, they make sense, right? It's a new year, new you, all of those things. But is there any special magic to making a New Year's resolution? What is different come January 1st?
I just feel like January 1st, we're supposed to feel like we have a bit more control, right? Because come November, come December, my world spirals. Like, I'm like, okay, the kids have all these events that they have to go to, and you're spiraling to do that. And then you're spiraling to get Christmas done, and you're spiraling to make sure that it's like magical for the kids. And you just literally forget about yourselves, and you're like, oh, what can I eat? Oh, there's potato chips here, let me shove those in my mouth. Oh, there's this, let me shove this in my mouth. And it doesn't matter what it is, like. And I just feel like January 1st, you feel like, okay, I can reset. All of the holidays are done, things are done, time to reset, focus on myself. But
so in other words, the plan
I lied to myself.
The plan is for 2 months to be purposely out of control.
No, I don't want to
And
be,
then
but
suddenly come January 1st, regain control.
It's like the Monday of all Mondays.
Yes.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Gonna restart on Monday. But
Yeah.
you didn't say why you don't make New Year's resolutions.
Well,
So-
why do we need to wait for New Year's to make a resolution? I
Like
mean, a
Monday.
resolution is essentially resolving to do something.
Mhm.
And
Well,
and it's not that it's arbitrary. I mean, we know that January 1st is coming every single year,
Right.
but it's sort of an arbitrary time to do it. And the assumption is, and the kind of contract we make with ourselves is, yes, I'm going to let everything go to, you know what,
Hell in a handbasket.
for 2 months, right? I'm gonna go out of control. So in other words, like I'm gonna dip myself in chaos, and then I'm gonna try to pull it all together magically somehow. And I just don't believe that that's the way it works.
I don't
Having
think
said
you're-
that, having said that, we're talking to a bunch of people who've probably made resolutions.
Well, no, but you know what? I think that I'm a 50-50 split here. Like, so I look for New Year's resolutions as the opportunity to make that, bless you, to make
Right.
those changes. But the truth is,
Excuse me.
bless you. I feel like, touch on what Corinne said, it's true. And I'm starting before like mid-October, even September.
Right.
Everybody else who has, and we always say, because obviously I have young kids. So for my kids, obviously they're my priority. My family is my priority. As they get older, they kind of become more self-sufficient. It's different where it's easier for me to put myself on the back burner and make them do something healthy and do the right
You'll
thing.
be doing your son's laundry when he's married. We know this. So
Yes, it's true.
so much for
And
that.
changing
But
his
go ahead.
sheets too.
Absolutely. I will be changing sheets. My daughter, according to my husband, he's buying the house next door for her husband to live in because she's never leaving home.
You'll change his sheets as
I'll
well.
change his sheets.
Yeah.
But come September, it's a blur. They're back to school.
September.
Well,
Yes.
yes. So this is where
It gets earlier and earlier every year.
But for me, this is when I start to notice myself like losing a sense of control. So like that's why when we like reference the back to basics, I enjoy the summer. I love the opportunity. September comes, I look forward to the schedule again, the routine. It's like, oh, okay, good. Here I could jump right into things and hit the ground running. And then all of a sudden you wake up, it's October.
Right.
Ask Jen. Me and Jen start talking about Thanksgiving menus second week of October.
Right.
So you're planning ahead, but you're kind of like clouding what you're doing at the moment. You don't realize the time is passing so quickly. And if I'm not investing, all of my time right then and there, you're missing it.
Right.
So
Listen,
so
my point, Jack, is that New Year's is not the blank slate that we want it to be.
No, it's not.
We still have the same conditions going on from the year before.
throughout the year, I try to get back into things throughout the year, and
Right.
then I'll slip up, but I'll do it throughout the year. And then January 1st comes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start again. So it's not like
Me too.
I wait till January 1st.
no,
I'll do it. Yeah, I do it throughout the year, and then I slip off, and then January 1st comes, and I'm like, all right, January 1st.
I'd like to hear from our clients. what do we think about resolutions? I mean, is there any magic to them? Do they make sense? Does it make more sense to take the bull by the horns whenever, right, and resolve to do that which you want to do at that moment, as opposed to waiting and putting things off?
Yeah.
I think that is better, but you have to be in the right mindset. Because although that is a better opportunity, and that's really to get the job done, if you don't follow through, you're back to square. You're kind of just setting yourself up for failure also.
I agree with you. So mindset is very important. Now, do you find that you're automatically, and I'm gonna address this to Trisha, do you find that you're automatically in the right mindset just by virtue of the fact that the calendar changes and it's a new year?
I do. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. And this probably sounds a little, every January I always feel like, all right, I'm getting back on some kind of plan or some kind of routine or workout thing. Always January. Maybe it's a little, I'm counting down for the warmer months. I don't know what it is. Maybe that it is it. I don't know. But I definitely think come January, I always set some plan. And I do, like, Thea said, I do it, throughout the year, and maybe things change. But for the most part, come January, I'm always in that mindset.
So generally the resolution needs a boost after a while, and maybe several.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So like for myself, right? Like, let's say I'm on a weight loss journey and I can't get started to where I want to go. I actually start texting like Jackie or Jen what my weight is every day. And I start saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Same thing, because if we say it out loud, then I force myself to continue on with it. But when I just do it by myself, I'm not as successful. So to me, that's the biggest thing, like from our program specifically, that I needed to say out loud what my weight was every day.
You needed to declare it and to have the support. Yes, Jen.
Corinne slid right into, I was going to say it's about accountability, and that's coaching. Yeah, that's coaching.
Elizabeth, as usual, she doesn't pull any punches. She just says flat out, resolutions are bogus.
Right.
Thank you for that,
Some people,
Elizabeth.
it sets you up for failure. Some people are like, oh, yeah, New Year's resolution. I'm going to do. Listen, same thing. And Jen, I know you're going to agree with me on this. Lent. People wait for that, right? I mean, I know more people that for Lent give up food-related things
than anything else.
And they miss the whole concept. But again, it's another opportunity.
Corinne's giving up cauliflower.
So, and pumpkin spice. Jack, I wish my mom was here to attest to this, because that was another thing. Like, I grew up in the Catholic Church with my very Italian family. And I would say, why are we giving up chocolate? How is that helping the world? Why don't we do something for somebody else instead of giving something up? Like, the whole self-deprivation thing never got to me.
Yeah, but it's the whole concept of like,
of what?
He did something for you.
So
you're still doing something for yourself.
Jen, I would imagine you were hit with a lot of rulers by priests.
I was always in trouble.
I'll tell you what. Say 3 novenas.
3 Hail Marys and
forgive you.
Our Father and my child.
Listen, this brings up another point, though. Whether we're talking about resolutions or whether we're talking about Lent, those are times that are really imposed upon us by either tradition, other people, and we're supposed to at that point.
Yes.
Have to.
But that's not exactly, it's a have to. That's not necessarily based on our own self-determinism.
Anything that's authoritarian and a have to,
Jen doesn't do.
You know what? Because it's an enforced reality that doesn't make sense. Like, if you come to it and if you want to sacrifice not eating chocolate, that's fine. But now try to have someone come to you and say, you can never have chocolate again. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't, as a regular basis, whatever it is, the minute you tell yourself you can't have something, boom, it's like a switch flips. So it's not your reality. It's not like your world. And then people are trying to, you said it very well. It's not your self-determinism. So, and that's what gets us out of everything. So
there's another point, though. Here's the other point. The point is enthusiasm. So we're led to believe that enthusiasm is a good thing, right? We have to psych ourselves up for something. I get very worried when somebody starts our program and they're very enthusiastic.
because it peters out.
Because enthusiasm peters out very quickly and very often, and there are tough days that can happen on the program, or frankly, if you're trying to accomplish anything. So I encourage people not to be enthusiastic. When you're enthusiastic, often there's not a correct estimation of the effort that it's going to take.
Right. The other thing is,
you kind of have to set your mindset. Sorry, Jen, go ahead.
I was going to say, people don't realize that if this is your goal and you're starting out over here, if it takes you longer and longer and longer, the goalpost gets moved out. So there's like a formula that it takes your proportionate, your failure rate is directly proportionate to how quickly you get started up on something. So when I see people come in and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to put it off. I'm going to start on Sunday. I'm going to plan, and they're going right into it. Not like, oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. Wait, let's take a step back because you got to prep a little bit. But if they're like starting soon, their success rate is much higher than somebody who pushes off till tomorrow, what they should have started yesterday, if that makes sense.
It does. I do agree with that. But on the flip side, I jump into things when I'm excited to do something. That gives me more to see. I think I'm the opposite.
You never stop with enthusiasm, though.
I feel
That's true.
Right. So
But Jackie, as an enthusiastic person, do you find that sometimes the enthusiasm either peters out, or you move on to another project that you're enthusiastic about, like the cat with the string?
No, I don't think so.
I think that when Jackie goes all in, she goes all in.
All in.
I don't.
Yeah, she makes the rest of us.
That is not true.
Thea, what is your experience with enthusiasm? Do you find that you ever jump into a project and you're all enthusiastic about it, and then for whatever reason it doesn't work, whereas you might have been better off taking a more measured approach?
It's like 50-50. Sometimes I'll jump into something with enthusiasm and I'll follow it through. And there's other times that I'll wait because I have to process and think about it and have a strategy. And so.
Also, it depends on how many stops and blocks you get along the way. Yeah. Like if you have a project and you're in the middle of it and like you're doing, say you got garden, right? I'm using this as an example. And you go outside and it's raining, you come back in, and then you go outside and the squirrels have dug up your nuts. And then you go back outside and like all those stops take away your enthusiasm. They take the momentum out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of have to navigate, because it is like, whatever, these are the things that are thrown our way. But you have to navigate around that and keep your, enthusiasm is actually very high on the energy scale. If it's sustained enthusiasm.
It just depends on what the event is, too. That's if it's like, I don't know, skiing, let's go skiing, and you're enthusiastic about going, you get on the skis and you stay enthusiastic the whole time. But if it's, I'm going to clean my closet out and I'm going to build shelves, and you get enthused about it.
I love that.
If you ask Jackie, Jackie's like, oh my God, I had the best day tonight. I cleaned my closet.
Right?
I'm like,
and you're in there, you're in the closet, and then one kid is fighting, the other kid is crying, your husband.
Lock
the door.
I'm bleeding. Don't call me.
You know what? I have a closet project going on as we speak right now. I can hear them above my head. Like
Jackie will be over at noon.
I can't wait.
Listen,
I have such a problem.
Jen, you know me. I believe that all the world's wisdom is summarized in 1980s movies. And I'm thinking specifically about the Karate Kid. I'm thinking about Cobra Kai.
I know you were going to say that.
And I'm thinking about Miyagi. I think Miyagi had the best attitude. It was all about balance. He never got too high. He never got no. That's a drill. That's not the philosophy behind it.
What's the philosophy?
Miyagi never got too high. He never got too low. I mean, you might remember. Well, this is an important point. In the Karate Kid 3, they destroyed his bonsai shop.
Yeah.
And Daniel was all upset about it, and he was just like, okay, fine. Not a big deal. We're just going to handle it.
Rebuild.
Mr. Miyagi?
Huh?
Are you saying you're Mr. Miyagi?
I aspire to be Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi with a mohawk. Mohawk Miyagi.
I think we should all be Mr. Miyagi in that sense. We should all have a sense of balance. It's silly to go into something. First of all, it's silly to make a resolution because it's expected of you, because it's a certain time. It's silly to go into something not assuming that there are going to be barriers that need to be overcome, and to go up and down with depending on how successful you are at that very moment.
Right.
Thea and I were talking yesterday about a client who she wants to quit the program because she didn't lose weight for a couple of days. Meanwhile, she's killing it. She lost 15 pounds in 18 days.
That's crazy. It's expectations.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, Jen. I was touching on that because the truth is you have to be realistic too. So as much as I say resolution, we use the term resolution because that's what it's January and you're going to call it a January, New Year's resolution. The truth is, like, I have a laundry list of things that I want to accomplish this year. Do I consider them resolutions? No, to me, they're goals. They're things that I want done.
Jackie, is laundry on that list?
No, my laundry's always done.
Oh, yeah, I figured that. Yeah.
So, but is like you have to be realistic. Like, I'm also one of those, like, I set expectations where I'm like, my husband could say the same thing. If I have errands to run, I'll just do one errand day. He goes, how is that you manage to get to 37 stores in one day? But it's one day. That's it. It's done. So you have to be realistic.
I have a resolution about that.
But the truth is, like I want to lose 30 pounds. Oh, you know what? You think it'll be done before I go to Florida? Probably not. I have 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be realistic about what you want. And because it's not attainable in that short amount of time does not mean it's not realistic. So
right.
you have to pace yourself. Just because the goal it's between now and April, or now in May, or come June before you hit the beach, or whether it's, I'm just referencing health, but that's still going to come. June is going to come. So if you stop, June's still going to come. You know what I mean? So just because it's not necessarily happening now, between now and February 1st,
right?
March is still going to come. April's going to come.
Right. And that's where our Miyagi consciousness comes in. So now we have a new term, Miyagi consciousness. We're all aiming for Miyagi consciousness. We all need to achieve it.
I'm on it. I'm in.
Okay, good. Who else is in on the Miyagi consciousness?
Me.
Okay.
Right.
That might be the secret to the failed resolution. Listen, there are people that we're speaking to right now that already their resolutions have waned. They've already forgotten about them. I mean, it's only been a few weeks, and it's probably because of how they went into them in the first place, and because they were resolved to make a resolution as opposed to resolved to stay on a path.
Yeah.
Right. So when I have clients who get frustrated like that, there are a couple things going on. So first of all, it's managing expectations, which is your phrase. Thank you. I lifted it. It's also education. Like, we have to educate them on why things are happening.
Right.
Even if they are crushing it, But I always reference the failed resolution is the baby learning to walk falls down how many times? The baby doesn't say, F it, I'm just going to stay down and never walk because I fell down 20 times. And that's like us. If you keep falling down, you keep getting up. The only difference between success and failure is the person who doesn't get up again.
Right. Boy, you'd be a good linebackers coach. That's what a linebackers coach says. Yeah.
Well,
you never stay down. You're either falling down or getting up.
Managing the expectations of 3 kids. Coaching.
Well, you brought up something that is going to have to wait for next week, but I'll pose the question now. What happens between the time when we're a baby and we don't mind falling a million times, as long as it means us walking eventually, to when we're an adult, to where we can be more fragile than a baby? Don't answer. Nope.
I know.
That's going to wait for next week.
Next week.
Okay, so that's going to be it for today. Is there anything that anyone would like to say before we go? Very democratic.
Have a great week.
Have a great
week.
Happy. Be happy.
Whatever you choose to do, get started on it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Just because Monday passes mean you can't get started still.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, guys, that's going to be it. We'll see everyone next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.